this beautiful podium from Fixture Displays. This is the glue supplied, and this is syringe. You want to draw the glue into the syringe carefully. Make sure you wear gloves and protective eyeglasses. They look like these afterwards. Now all the materials come in with a protective layer of paper, like these. You want to peel this off first, and that takes a little time. Just be patient. And then clean that with paper towel and 97% proof alcohol. Any Walgreens or nearby drugstore should have this for about $3 per bottle, and that's more than enough for you. So peel them off and clean the sheets nicely. And this video will demonstrate how you put the 5 legs together. That's the most critical part and most difficult part in the process. First, you want to use the rubber band supplied and then blocks positioned in this fashion. Make sure this block do not go full in so that it's easy to get out. And this block here, eventually, very quickly will take it out before it's fully glued. Now you want to be sure these acrylic pieces are on top of each other, one nesting to the other, so that form a perfect square. Very important, this surface must be flush. In other words, the acrylic cannot be like these. It must be exactly like this, because when you glue that to the base of the podium and the top, it's extremely critical. That is very. What you want to do is you want to secure this end just enough so that it's holding together. I would recommend maybe 2 or 3 inches long on all 4 edges to glue that carefully. And the needle actually has a tapered point. You want to make sure the point is toward the seam so that when the glue is in contact with the acrylic, it facilitates going into the seam. Now you want to practice very slowly, very carefully, and identify the seam, then run along with the seam. You will see the glue find the gap because of the siphoning effect. You want to go very, very slow. Work this edge, and then the bottom edge, and then the other side. You may feel necessary to rotate that carefully before you can get to it. Now allow about 10 minutes for this to cure. Then you can take this block off. The 10 minutes is just enough. You can move it, but not totally cured for use yet. Now then on this side, you do not want to work on all 4 sides. You want to glue the bottom 2 edges and allow that to cure. Then you want to open this top piece to take the needle block out. The reason you want to take it out is if you don't, because of tight corners, it's very hard to get it out. So you want to do that now. Now because this side is secured, this bottom 2 edges also glued, it's very easy to work with these 2 edges. You want to edge this together with the rubber band's help first, and then work these 4 edges in the center, rotate that as necessary, and then finish the rest of the long lines. Now use wedges. The best certainly is wood pieces, but you may not have that. You can use a paper roll into a hard core paper roll, or even use a corrugated piece like these, a box material. Very important, the better the contact, the better the gluing results. If the gap is too large, you would not have a successful glue result. Make sure they're in close contact under pressure. And if necessary, use a weighted object like a big book, or if you have other metal object, that would be even better to give it a pressure because acrylic is a solvent-based glue, under pressure it works the best. Now once you have the tube glued, it looks like these. Now you want to examine all the seams, make sure you have solid glue line, and where is maybe missing, you want to make it up just a little bit to have a solid piece here. Again, very important, all the 4 pieces are on the same plane, the same surface. That's very critical. Once you have this done, your job is half done. There are 5 of these. Depending on how quickly you get a ball, it could take you half a day or a day. Then after the legs, everything is easy. Nice job. Now you have all the 5 legs completed. You are ready to put this whole podium together. You first lay down the corrugated template on the floor, and then clean up the base piece, peel off, do the cleaning with 97% alcohol, so on and so forth. Is laid that on the template, and there are 5 holes indicating where you should position the legs. Make sure it is perfectly aligned. And at this stage, proper contact is the most critical thing. As you can see, I put many books and heavy articles on top of the first leg I'm about ready to glue. The purpose is to ensure the bottom has the best chance of contact, and you want to watch closely, make sure it is all in contact. And when the solvent-based adhesive cures, pressure is our friend. So make sure the weight is here for the entire process of curing. Make sure it cures at least an hour or about before you move the weight away. The good thing is you could, and I found some breakfast ingredient to give weight on this leg. You can immediately start to glue this leg. And the thing to watch out here is you run the needle really slowly, and make sure you see all possible contact area is taken care of. Go as slow as you can. Again, if you have caused a puddle, if it's a small puddle, leave it alone. If it's big puddle, use a paper towel, dry paper towel, suck it up immediately, but do not wipe. Now, once you are done with all 5 legs, what you want to do is let this cure as a group, cure half a day or about, and then you want to have at least another helper to help you turn that 180 degrees. Essentially, you bring the top panel down to the bottom, flip this, and work the same way as you have done here. Again, as you flip that, you still want to work with the gap. You may even want to increase the amount of weight you put on top so that you do have successful contact. In the event your legs are not done properly, you may have to take some sandpaper or a file to work around some corners. But if you have done the legs as the instructions have shown, you should have no problem. I'm going to do a live demo of gluing the leg to the base. What you want to watch out is the white line is the contact area. Once glue is getting in there, it will turn transparent. and you want to make sure the entire white line is turning transparent. And go really slow. Alright, you see how white line turned completely transparent and disappearing. Alright. Now we work on this side. Again, I cannot emphasize enough, the good contact is key, and use which is available so that the contact is solid, and make sure the white line completely disappears. Good amount of glue, the right amount of glue is in between for a chemical reaction so that they will form into one piece. After gluing the bottom, curing for a good 2 hours or half a day, then rotate that so that the glue sections are on the top. And watch out for a successful glue line, as little bubble as possible, no missing lines. And now you want to use even more weight on the top so that the bottom has good level contact. Use a thin paper, any magazine paper or copy paper, to try to run through the four corners of each leg, and the result should not let go in. And to achieve that, you need to move the legs around a little bit. For example, if the paper can get in this corner, means you should move that further away in that direction so that it has better contact. In doing so, you also want to balance the other corners, make sure all the corners very tight contact area to the extent that a regular paper would not go in. In doing so, you would deviate from the cutout hole position a little bit, even as much as half an inch. However, a podium of 30-some inches wide, that wouldn't be really noticeable, and you really should as the first condition versus perfect alignment to the original template. Now, before you start gluing, you want to make sure all these legs have similar properties in that contact, and paper wouldn't go in. Make sure all 5 legs satisfy that condition before you glue. The reason is that if indeed you have a leg have too much room and it's just too big a gap, you don't want to move forward. You want to perhaps turn it around and then sand off some of the excesses because you didn't align the 4 pieces of the leg or whatever reason, because the better contact, great contact, is critical in the structural integrity. Once you have ensured you have great level contact, then start gluing, similar to what you have done on the bottom. Again, use as much weight as you need on the top to produce a better level contact. We're now ready to glue the top, the reading panel section. You want to bring the template on a table, lay the rectangular top on the template according to the guideline, and then position the two supporting pieces as indicated on the cutout. Then start gluing. Let that cure for an hour or two. Then you can go on to the next step. After gluing these two support pieces, then turn it around to add this book stop on top of the reading panel. Certainly, you want this to be closer to the speaker, and the front end is slightly taller, tapering toward the speaker. Now, gluing this piece looks very harmless, but it can be tricky. What you want to do is you want to start the middle point, add just a little bit of glue, and to let that cure in 20 minutes before you do the rest. The reason is this surface and bottom of this strip may not be perfectly even and flat. And use weights as necessary to make sure these two pieces are perfectly aligned at the bottom. Then you start gluing. Let this cure for an hour or two. Then you are ready to bring this on top of the podium. Now align this properly. You can use a measuring tape or any device, or you can also cut the template in a few pieces to fit it in. Then what's left is really easy. Just glue this edge as well as this edge. Then you will have your perfect podium.